Hello, everyone. Hope you all had a great weekend and enjoyed the supermoon on Saturday night. I got a few pictures of it. Being that it is Monday means it's time for spooky places. And this week we shall cover few in Arkansas. First is the Allen House, Monticello, Arkansas. The Allen House in Monticello was built in 1900 by a prosperous Delta planter named Joe Lee Allen. The Allen family lived in the house until the 1950s when it was converted into apartments. The house started to gain a reputation for being haunted in the 1940s when Liddell Allen, one of Joe's daughters, committed suicide in the house by drinking cyanide. The huge house was converted into apartments a few years later, mostly housing students from the nearby University of Arkansas. Number of tenants over the years claimed to have encountered ghosts in the building, from a doctor who captured the reflection of a ghost in a mirror in his room to a young couple who said that they actually trapped a ghost in a closet. This strange event happened in 1968 or 1969 when the couple and some friends noticed a closet door moving back and forth on its own. They slammed the door shut, or tried to, encountering great resistance from someone inside the closet. Finally, they managed to close it, and when they carefully opened it a few minutes later, they found no one inside. Weird. Tenants also claimed to have heard strange moaning sounds and the sounds of heavy footsteps on the upper floor, which was empty at the time. Police were summoned to the house. So realistic were the sounds, but they found no trace of a living person there. 1985, a gift shop was opened on the main floor of the house, and shortly after opening, the owner noticed that strange things were happening. She would come in and find things knocked over and missing, and some believed that the ghost of Liddell Allen was furious at the idea of her former home being used as a gift shop. Mysterious events are still unexplained. Next, we travel to Newport, Arkansas, the case of the White River Monster. The forest sparsely populated regions and the Ozark Hills of Arkansas have long made for many mysteries, and strange creatures of the state are no exception. There have been a number of creatures who have appeared throughout the state over the years. The Fouke Monster, or Fouke, Arkansas, of Fouke, Arkansas, is certainly one of the strangest. This 6-foot tall, hairy humanoid monster gained notoriety in the late 1960s when it harassed two families living outside the town in the southwest part of the state. The monster is reported to have smelled awful and made a habit of killing chickens and livestock and mauling a number of dogs. The story became so popular that a low-budget horror movie called The Legend of Boggy Creek was made about 1973. Other most famous creature of Arkansas is the White River Monster, a monster so widely accepted that has its own game preserve. From about 1915 to the 1970s, residents of the small town of Newport reported seeing a monster in a nearby river. Sightings were not constant, but seemed to occur many at a time. The monster, described as being a sea serpent-like and at least 30 feet long, witnesses reported that it made a loud bellowing noise and had a spiny backbone. Reports varied that the creature's size over the years and is often encountered by fishermen and campers along the river. Two men reported in 1971 that they saw three-toed tracks along the muddy riverbanks in places where the monster had crushed some vegetation. The creature was even photographed that same year by Cloyce Warren of the White River Lumber Company. 1973, a resolution was passed in Arkansas state legislation creating the White River Monster Refuge along all of the White River that runs adjacent to the Jackson Port State Park. Resolution made it illegal to molest, kill, trample, or harm the White River Monster while he is in the retreat. Interesting that they mention molest, because you don't think you really want to try to molest a White River Monster. It doesn't sound like the type of creature that would invoke that, but then again, the world is a strange place. And the last stop, Highway 365, south of Little Rock, Arkansas. Highway 365 in Arkansas is an ordinary stretch of American highway that runs near the central part of the state. However, like many other roadways in the country, it boasts its share of spooky places. Highway 365 in Arkansas is home to a number of vanishing hitchhiker stories. Many witnesses claim that over the years to have picked up a young woman, usually wearing a white dress. She mysteriously vanishes from the cars while they are taking her home. One story that took place near Woodson, Arkansas, had a driver giving a lift to a young woman who, one rainy night, driving her to a house in Redfield. He got out of the car and walked around to her side of the vehicle to open the door, only to find the girl had disappeared. Bewildered, he went up to the house and was told by the man who answered the door that his daughter had been killed on the night 4 years ago. On each anniversary of her death, she found an unwitting driver to bring her home. Another similar story involved a man who gave a lift to a young girl that he picked up on a bridge one night. She asked to be taken to a house again in Woodson, and when they arrived, she asked the driver to go knock on the door because the house looked dark. The woman answered the door, and he told her that he had brought her daughter home. The horrified woman stated that her daughter had died 1 year before on that very night. The driver went back to the car and found it empty except for a coat. The woman in the house stated that the coat had belonged to her dead girl. Another tale involves a bridge near Batesville and a driver who picked up a girl there on a night in 1973. The girl was bruised and battered with a cut above her eye, and she told the driver she had been in an accident. He gave her a ride home, and when he returned to speak to her, she had vanished from the car. Went to the door of the house, and the man who answered claimed to be the girl's father. He said that his daughter had died 1 month before in an accident at the bridge near Batesville. Said that other people had also brought her home before. The story goes that drivers are still bringing the girl home today. Well, I hope you all enjoyed the tales for this week, my friends, and wishing you all a spooky night.